Hello, everybody. This is Julie D from Nordonia Hills News, and I am talking today to another Julie, Julie Leto. Did I pronounce that right?
Leto. Close. You
Leto.
were close.
Okay, Leto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because usually it's like Julie D and Julie L.
Right.
Just like a lot of people don't know how to pronounce Deloiso, which is my last name.
Yeah, that one's
Because-
much harder than
Yes.
Leto.
And people try to pronounce it, but I just say Julie D, and they're like, oh, like they don't have to worry about it. It's just Julie D. So.
Right.
So Leto, okay.
Leto.
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 Leto, okay.
Yeah.
Juliel.
Julia.
Juliel. All right.
Mm.
So tell everybody the like your what your business is and the services you provide.
Okay. My business name is JL Money Matters. It is a bookkeeping, daily money managing services, bookkeeping for small businesses, daily money managing for personal financing. I'll help usually senior citizens who can't pay their bills anymore, need help, or somebody that's had a lot of medical issues and need to go through their medical bills, that type of thing. But just help them on their day-to-day financing needs that they need, going through mail and just keeping track of everything. Um, but small businesses is mostly where I'm at. Oh, and then I also have it's Money Score program that helps individual people get out of debt as well. It's a program that we can go through together, and you have somebody along your side. But the small businesses, I'll do whatever is needed by the person, the client. We can do monthly bookkeeping, quarterly bookkeeping. I can do QuickBooks training so that you can do it yourself. We can get you set up with QuickBooks, which is an accounting software that a lot of businesses use now. So yeah, there's a variety of different things I can help you out with in your business.
Awesome. Yeah, you mentioned QuickBooks. Is that a program that you recommend if someone is going to use a program?
It's one of the most that's the one. I'm like a pro advisor advanced, or something, well, some title they give it. But that's the one I use the most. It's QuickBooks. There's a QuickBooks desktop version. There's also QuickBooks online version. The online version is what I use mostly. So you can access it anywhere. It's in the cloud. But being that most of my clients I don't ever see, that's the best way to handle their books. But yeah, that's the most popular. QuickBooks online is one of the most popular ones to use.
I must say I have QuickBooks. I started using it I think over a year ago, and it's so easy for people to pay my invoices that I send them. They
It
just
is,
pay
yes.
through there. And
You just
especially
send it through.
with all the problems that the mail has been having, and you could have a potential lost check in the mail, and just someone can click and just pay, and that's becoming more of a thing every day. So I really
Right,
do enjoy it for that.
it's easier on you, but it's easier on the customer or the client as well, that they
Yes.
don't have to worry about writing a check and mailing it or calling you or anything. They just click a button and it's paid.
So let's talk about some of the mistakes people and businesses make when they're preparing their books for the taxes, because it is getting to be that season here.
The biggest mistake people make is that they don't do it until December or January or February. They realize I'd never done anything last year. It's something you meant to do. Oh, next week or next month, I'm really going to get caught up. And then before you know it, you're so busy, the time has gone by. But so that's the biggest thing, is you don't think about it, and before you know it, it's needs to be done and it's not. Or a lot of people found out with COVID and all these PPP loans and government thing help that you could get, you needed to submit financial statements, and people weren't ready to do that in the middle of the year. So people were scrambling to get that done. So that's the biggest mistake. The other mistakes are, just common things, not categorizing things in the appropriate accounts. Mixing business and personal is a big, huge no-no. So always just keep your personal separate from your business. And then, forgetting about things like, if you make a loan payment, that interest is deductible. If you don't record the interest, you're missing out on a deduction for your taxes. Same with if you buy a truck or a vehicle or equipment, things like that, not putting those assets on your books so that you can get the proper depreciation expense or deduction for those things as well.
So, is there any extra tips that people could use so it's not so stressful, maybe next time around?
I think the biggest tip is to keep up with it monthly at least. Just popped into my head too. Bank reconciliations are another huge thing. And if you do those monthly, you'll be, that's good. Because if you're not matching, people will see, oh, QuickBooks is pulling in all my transactions from the bank. Why do I have to reconcile it? Well, QuickBooks makes mistakes and sometimes things get entered twice or don't get entered. So you always want to compare your statement, your bank statement, credit card statement with your QuickBooks account each month. So keeping up with that on a monthly basis, reviewing your reports monthly is really the easiest way, using an accounting software. And some people still use spreadsheets and things like that. That's fine as well. It's nice to have the automation of QuickBooks, but writing it on a piece of paper, on a ledger sheet or even, is fine. It's just to make sure you keep up with it. I think that's one of the main things to do.
Do you handle some of those tasks for businesses if they need that?
I do. A lot of times somebody will decide they're going to get started using QuickBooks or something, and they don't understand it. They have some questions, that type of thing, and they'll call me and I'll help them through that. And, maybe half the time they're good to go for themselves. And then the other half, they're like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. So can you do this for me? And sure, I can. And I can do, like I said, whatever. We can make a tailored plan just for that client, what they need. They might need help invoicing, or they might need help with their payroll, or just monitoring things on a monthly basis. And whatever is needed, we can set up a time to discuss that, and we can help out with that as well.
What made you decide to start your own business?
I always liked numbers and money, and I worked for doctor's offices for a long time and did the accounts payable or receivable on that end. 4 or 5 years ago, I started working for an accountant and learned a lot more bookkeeping, the bookkeeping side of things. And he was getting ready to sell his practice and retire. And that was like the third employer that I worked with that was going, and the other two turned out to be really crappy jobs that they sold to. So I said, I need a backup plan this time. So I decided, what, I'm going to start my own business. I like helping people. I was helping several people with their neighbors and things like that with their bills. So I thought, I'm just going to start doing more and more of that on the side. And then that grew into the bookkeeping, and the company that I had worked for got sold, and the guy that bought it is a great boss, and it's a great company. So I stayed on there for several more years and just did this on the side. But last fall, I decided, what, it's time to just go out on my own and see how this goes. But so it was scary to do that to begin with, but it's been a great experience so far.
Well, that's great. I always like to hear stories of how people got started in their business, because who knows, there might be someone watching this right now that's thinking about doing the same thing. And I think probably good advice for people that want to do that is see if depending on what they want to do, try to do a little bit on the side. So it's not like quit the
Right.
job and then
Yeah, I think that was the hardest decision is when do I quit the job, but if you can do it for a while, like I did it for 4 years on the side as a side job, but I was doing bookkeeping full time too. But um, I think people should go for it. I mean, back in the day, people had this mentality, you had to stay at a company, stay there forever, retire from there. And nowadays it's way different than that. And people switch from job to job, but I say give yourself a chance. I mean, need to be smart about it, and maybe have some money saved up and that type of thing. But I think if you're looking to try it, go ahead and try it.
speaking of trying it, I think we should try something and we should try to do this every month because,
That would be
Julie,
awesome.
money does matter.
Yes, it does, Julie. Money does matter.
So, so yeah, people are listening to this and they have some questions. I'm going to have down in the description like your website and your contact information, and they can always send you questions. I'm sure you have lots of different ways that people could contact you. And then, every month we can answer people's money questions. I think our focus should be money because it's like could be for business, could be personal.
Right,
It's all about the money. Show me
right.
the money, Julie.
Yeah, you always need to know where your money's coming from and where it's going. That's a big, huge part of life, I guess.
Exactly. So, is there anything that you wanted to mention that we didn't talk about yet?
Um, I guess just that, I've been the over the years, my, adult life, I've been in way different spectrums. I've been good with my money. There's been times where I'd never had enough money and I struggled. And, I've been in all kinds of situations and understand a lot of people's situations. And I never would judge anybody in situations that if they're embarrassed to be in. Um, I had somebody not want to have me do their books just because they were embarrassed that, they were losing money all the time. And, if we can figure out what's going on and, get it, things fixed, see where your money is going and maybe make some changes that can help and maybe not. But I would never judge anybody as to their financial situation because I've, you know, lived and learned over the years.
Were you
So
able to help that person?
I was able to help them. They're still in business, still struggling, but their business is all hard in this season. So but they are still there and they're trucking along. So
Yeah, and obviously, not only are you empathetic with people, but you're also, um, obviously, their information is secure, and and
absolutely.
and you have confidentiality with you as well.
Yes, what stays in the cloud, QuickBooks cloud, what's in the QuickBooks cloud stays in the QuickBooks cloud or whatever you want to say.
Well, thank you for taking the time. We've been planning this for a while, and it finally
Yes,
happened.
months. Yay.
So,
Well, it's been fun. I'm glad you had me on here. This is great.
awesome. So, have a great day and talk to you guys later. Bye,
Okay,
everybody.
thanks. Bye.